Hello, folks, and welcome to another episode of Striking Ground. Today, I'm pleased to let the viewers know that we have a very special guest that I'm extremely honored to have on with us today. His name is none other than Alex Bruce Leroy Caceres. Alex, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm blessed, man. I can't complain. Just very thankful. So, how's your day going today so far?
Oh, it's been going good. It's been going good. Nothing to complain about. Still starting the day off.
Hey, that's what's up, man. Hey, congratulations on your last performance in DBX, man. I love your speech, not only the performance, but the speech as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome, man. Hey, so I just wanted to ask you a few questions about your beginning childhood and stuff, man. How was that like?
My childhood,
Well, I mean, like not like a very small kid, but like what kind of started making you interested in MMA, let's just say.
in MMA. Well, I think when I was a very small kid, I got interested in the martial arts because I got into a lot of fights in school, and or it started like trying to get bullied, and then so I just wanted to. Or my dad showed me like Bruce Lee movies and made me work out every day and stuff like that. And so just to defend myself. So that's where the interest started in martial arts in general. And then when I was about, I would say like 14 or 13,
Yeah.
14, I started training with the wrestling team, but I didn't join until I was like the beginning of my sophomore year. And then I couldn't join because I had chipped my tooth when I was younger, and I had I had an open cavity in there because they had to do a root canal to, I guess, save the tooth.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't wrestle with that because it was sensitive. So I had to wait a year. And then when it finally settled in, that's when I joined the wrestling team. When I joined the wrestling team, I met one of my training partners, coach, and friend for a very long time, Enrico Coco, who was a part of an MMA gym, and he introduced us into mixed martial arts. Me and my brother, that is. If you and Enrico Coco, he's the guy like in the last like six fights or something, he was my corner man.
Been with you
So
since the beginning.
yeah, yeah. But that guy was like always phenomenal. Like that guy was like amazing at jiu-jitsu. And he was just like a all around well-rounded martial artist. His father was like a black belt master at Taekwondo. So he had a really well-rounded background. And
Yeah,
that's
so you were
how I
fortunate.
just yeah, that's how I got into martial arts. And then along the way I met a lot of really great martial artists that I kind of just, how would you say, went with the wind. Didn't try and didn't try to control or dictate, like I don't know, kind of gravitated to what I felt was the real stuff or what was good. And for the most part, a lot of the people were the people that a lot of people called crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy's crazy, like, no, 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 no. And it's
No.
crazy because it's stuff that other people couldn't necessarily do. So if you can't do it, you don't identify yourself with it, so it's foreign to you. So you already identify as an enemy. So like, oh no, he's just. It's like, no, I don't think that's crazy. I think it's just another way of doing it, and it could give you different benefits if you just try it out.
Absolutely. Being open minded definitely opens a lot more doors. And, just being yourself authentic. Authenticity has been shown to be one of the most strongest powers, energies, actually. And with you, Alex, so basically the wrestling was what kind of came first in the MMA, as
Yeah,
far as like, yeah. And how'd you like it? Grueling?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I'm looking at wrestling in a different way. I feel like I'm trying to get better at initiating more takedowns because ever when I was wrestling, I was good. I mean, my high school record was 26-6, and I didn't go to states because I was a bad academic student.
Okay.
So,
So that
but
that kept you out?
yeah, but other than that, I feel like I would have done really well. But I was what they called uh, what would you call that? A counter wrestler.
Hmm.
So like
So
I
that's why
didn't
the jiu-jitsu
initiate the
fit
thing.
you.
Yeah, that's why.
Oh,
Yeah, I
you
got
weren't
really good.
aggressive.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
always like draw them in. My favorite move was like the Peterson roll, which is like if they ever took my back, just to roll them over, and I'll usually end up in a pinning situation. And if I would take them down, I'll do like the sweep single where I wouldn't carry them. They'll just kind of sprawl on themselves because they think I'm shooting for a double. But so like I would, yeah. But and I started getting more into it. The more I got into it, the more I like the Greco um style of it, upper body
What do you
stuff.
you heard about the RAF?
Yeah. We tried we wanted to get on one of those. That'll be cool. We'll see if we can get on one of those. That'll be fun thing to do. I grappled Clay Guida over in Polar. It wasn't Polaris. I forgot what it was called, but in one of those grappling matches,
Yeah.
and we ended up drawing out.
Huh?
So that was fun.
So, yeah, I want to see you in there. You know, they got a lot of different people going to compete over there, and it's a bit of a show, if you ask me.
Yeah, would be
I'd
fun.
love
Would
to
be
see you
fun.
on
But
there.
yeah, I've been trying to get on any type of show. Really, I've been just not doing anything for a while.
Yeah, just relaxing with the family and enjoying your time with them.
Well, I just haven't been getting any offers or opportunities.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Well, some people, in my opinion, that aren't even as deserve worthy, it's just them speaking out that kind of gets them there. You know what I mean? It's talking crap, and that's probably just not you, right?
well, yeah. I mean, like I guess but that's the thing. I guess I'm just not invested in the sport enough or things like that to like know a person enough or know a person enough to hate them. Where like it's a it's a lot of work. That's a lot of work, and I feel like the work, fighting and training, is enough. And that's it's kind of like unnecessary work. It doesn't gain me as a human being anything. If that's the way that I got to be out of character and like that to like I guess get money and fame and stuff, then that's okay with me, honestly.
Yeah, I hear you. You know, it's probably just not your cup of tea, but who knows what the future holds for you, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and and it's just quite honestly, I just don't believe that martial arts in general should be represented in that way. So I would be doing myself a disservice in not practicing what I preach.
See, you got to stand for something or you fall for anything, right?
Uh, and it's not. I wouldn't even say it's a standard. I just can't see it that way. I just can't see like how somebody does martial arts as not as I don't know,
The
lack of a
respect
better
behind
term,
it.
personal journey.
Hmm.
No, just personal journey. Like it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with the guy that's fighting me. You know what I'm saying? In fact, I shouldn't be mad at the guy fighting me. I said it plenty of times in different interviews. If I didn't have the guy in front of me fighting me, I couldn't do what I like to do and get paid for it. So
That's
I should have this.
interesting.
It's just so like it's a different. I don't know. Like so, it's a different outlook for me. Like it's more of an enjoyment thing than a serious. And I got to do this, and this is something I got to do. This is who I am, and I don't know. It's not like that for me. This is who I am, but it's not something that I necessarily like, or I'm already doing it. I'm doing martial arts all the time. I do it. I'm already doing it. So I don't. It's not something like to compete and win titles and money and shit like that, and say that I'm better than you and stand over you. It's not something that I have to do. I would like to do that if you give me the opportunity, but it's not something that I have to do because what I love doing is martial arts, and I'm already doing it, and I'm gonna continue doing
Exactly.
it. So
That's a good point. Has it ever motivated you? Like, how does it feel when a fighter has ever talked trash to you in one of your previous fights when you were younger? Did it ever have like motivation for you?
no, I never. I can honestly say like I think that was that always caused a lot of confusion amongst my teammates and coaches and people around me and viewing me that I seem to be apathetic about the whole situation because I don't seem to be motivated. And it's just like I'm not motivated. I'm not motivated to do this. I don't have to get charged up to fight. I don't have to get in a state of mind or listen to a certain song or have somebody say a certain thing to me or charge me up or round me up for me to go and fight and do what I love doing.
Because you love doing it.
It's simply who I am. It's like that's why I choose happy songs when I come out. Like I don't have to be in a mood to fight. You know what I'm saying? I'll
Yeah,
fight
that's
you if I'm
interesting.
sad. I'll fight you if I'm happy. I'll fight you if I'm angry. I'll fight you if I'm laughing, if I'm giggling, if in all sorts of emotions, I'll do it. Because it's just doing it is going to bring more peace to me. It's going to bring it back into that, I guess, steady realm that I need to be in or that I would like to be in. So it has nothing to do with the feeling or something motivating me or demotivating me. And that's the other thing too. Just because this is a scary thing that I might get hurt, I won't do it because I'm afraid of what might happen either.
Hmm.
I'm simply going to do it because I'm just going to do it, and that's what it is.
I see. Yeah, that's very interesting. You're being yourself. You're very authentic, in my opinion, and I like that a lot about you, Alex. So after you did wrestling, kind of started off wrestling, and then you met Coco, and then you went to jits and so forth or whatever. I believe that it kind of showed in your performances, especially when you went on that 4 or 5 winning streak, just as of recent before you left the UFC. You started getting people's back, and it was ugly for them. They couldn't do anything. It was just like if Alex gets your back, it's gonna be a long night for you. So was that something that you always wanted to implement in your fights, or did you just kind of go out there to have fun, or was it part of the game plan?
And I guess that's another thing that also frustrates, especially my coaches, is that I don't do game plans. I throw them shits out the window. Like I remember like a whole exchange between my wrestling coach and me, like back in the day in high school. Like we'd always like screaming, like losing his voice, screaming at me to do what I'm gonna do. But then I always end up winning. So then like it got to the point where like every time I would get out there, he's like he always like try to give advice to every person before they get out there. Stay low, do this, do that, and then when he goes, Alex, and he just looks at me, he's like, do whatever you want, and he just puts his head down, and I'm like,
Well, he doesn't understand the flowy state. You could try to implement whatever you guys planned when, those openings are there and so forth, but you don't know, it all depends on what your opponent is doing as well. So you're flowing like water, right?
yeah. I don't make a game plan. I don't try to do something to somebody. Like, yeah, when I see things and they're there, it happens. Sometimes they just happen. But the way that I understand it, and if I'm gonna try and put it in this way. So we practice these moves like if you practice them properly. Like, that's why I believe like a lot of them, ancient martial arts, they were doing like these katas, these forms, right?
Yes.
Over and over again, right? So it wasn't about the opponent. The opponent doesn't exist. I do the form in the correct angle, in the right way. And if I do it in full speed, the opponent, that is a possibility he will be there. Because if I'm facing somebody, he would be there. That's why when we shadow box, we throw our punches straight. Because obviously, if I'm facing the guy, he will be there. But now, if I imagine that person, or if I don't imagine a person, if I just throw it, boom, and it's stiff every time, hitting the air, if you're in the way, it's going to clean your clock. For instance, same thing. If I have so much control throwing a kick in the air so many times, what I'm saying, for no reason, for not to kick anybody, but if there was something there, I'm breaking through it.
Yeah,
You know,
it's good to do it. It can
so
create
like,
space as well.
yeah, I'm hitting space, and if something so happens to be there, it's not going to matter because since I'm hitting space, I'm going to follow through. I'm going to go right through it. When they said, we ever heard like that expression, like, "Oh, hit through it." Even the people
Yeah.
saying don't fully understand it. Hit the space. Do it like there was nothing there. You just bam. It's just a form. It's just a form. You make the form. And whatever's in the way, it doesn't stop the form from happening. Because you have cut that groove in space and time so finely that your body is just set the minute you just put it there. So there's no thought behind it. The thought and the action become one. Therefore, there's no motivation behind the action. Therefore, it's a just action.
I like that. I like Man, the viewers, boy, they're getting some gems right now from you. Hey, so and then if you kick and he's a little bit back there, you continue flowy. You might use your momentum if he's in
Yeah,
range to go
because
ahead and do a
you're
back.
not attached to a result.
Mm,
I'm not kicking for a reason or a result. So when I kick and it misses, it doesn't stop me because my kick could have been a miss or it could have been a land. And either way, if it's a miss, then it continues on to the other thing. Or if it lands, then it lands. But I am not trying to attach myself to a single result. Therefore, the results can be many. So
interesting.
Like, so when you're standing in the present moment, everything that holds you back is in the past, in all directions of the past. Everything that stops you from moving forward, it's in all directions of the future. If you
Okay.
start focusing on those results or the results that happen, then you're either getting tugged back or you're getting stopped from moving forward. But if you focus on just being in the middle, then all possibilities just open up to you.
The present.
Yeah.
Focus on the present. Do not focus on the past, brings depression, and don't focus on the future, brings anxiety, right?
But yeah, and the fact of the matter is just they don't exist. They don't
Hmm.
exist. The past doesn't create the present, right? It's the same way that the wake behind a boat didn't create the boat. The boat
Yeah.
made the wake behind it and left it behind. So the present
That's
moment is creating the future continuously at the same time.
man, that's a beautiful thing right there. That's real poetry right there. Spoken word, if you ask me.
but
Alex,
but
what are
that's the
some of
reason
your
why you
hobbies?
shouldn't.
Oh,
Huh?
I'm sorry. What you were saying? I'm sorry for interrupting your wiseness. You
I'm
saying that's
sorry.
the
I was
reason you
just
shouldn't
saying.
what?
That's the reason why we shouldn't stress over these things because they just simply don't exist. They're figments of our imagination, and we don't even remember the past clearly, and we can't ever predict the future properly. So there's no
Yeah,
point.
and it's not smart to worry about stuff that is out of our control. We want to
Well,
focus
yeah,
on
if you
what's
jump into
inside
a
of us.
river, try swimming against the current. Just got to relax.
Wow. Let go with the let it pull you.
Yeah, you got to trust the water. When you trust the water, it carries you, and then you don't waste energy, and you can go off to the edge if you need to. But if you fight against the current, it's going to tire you out and carry you along anyway.
I hear you, man. So, what are some other hobbies that you have, man? Do you do any hunting or? I know you grow your own food, right? You grow a lot of your own vegetables and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can give you a tour of the
What?
garden.
I love that. Let me see.
Hold on, let me see. How do I do this here? How do I spin the camera around?
You probably could just turn it around. I'm not sure what phone you got, but is this a collective effort, or you might lose what's it's called if you go too far? But
Okay,
I was gonna say,
so
is this a collective effort, or are you doing this?
no, I'm doing this.
Okay,
So I'm just this is like a mango tree here that I started growing. And then these are like some pigeon peas. I'm growing some herbs. I just sprouted an
gandule.
avocado tree and some rosemary, some different herbs here. And as you can see, like I have my lettuces. Trying to start my bonsai garden over here. Have some more stuff. Oh, another mango tree that's also growing. And a whole bunch of stuff here. Just mainly here's like Swiss chard that we're using to eat. Um, different tomato plants. These are like kind of edos. Can you see them over here?
Yeah.
Am I losing connection?
Wow. No,
And then we have
you're
our
good.
banana
It was
trees
just a
over
little in
there.
and out. There it goes.
And then we all have like onions and peppers. I mean, onions and garlic all up in there.
All
And then
right,
we just
go
have a few
down.
more
We're losing you over there.
stuff. If I can just turn it around right over
Yeah.
here, you can see that I just have the planter boxes planted there. So I just have like some perennials of like eggplants and peppers, different squashes, tomatoes, and stuff like that, and different trees just hanging around.
You got it
But
all. So I understand you were
that's
vegan, you said, for about 10 years, right?
yeah.
And did you feel more light? Did you feel like you had more energy? What was the difference? You could tell the viewers for your body.
I honestly didn't feel I feel not too much of a difference. I was a little lighter, but then again, that could be me growing older because I'm not that much heavier. You know, that maybe my body's maturing a little bit more. So getting more seasoned. So like I probably just got heavier because I am working out. And so but other than that, I haven't noticed too much of a difference, honestly. Um I do like I mean in the lightness of like fullness, yeah, for sure. So I do eat mostly, I'm still try to eat mostly plant-based just because I don't like to be heavy moving around too much.
You
But
can
other
feel
than
the
that, I don't
difference.
really, not too much of a difference. I've
Yeah.
always believed that it's what do they say? It's not what goes into a person's mouth that's evil, but what comes out.
Mhm. Yeah, I was also told if you could control whatever you put in your body, you have a better chance of controlling everything else.
Well, yeah, exactly, and that's the thing is like we should. It's about moderation, or can like the middle path is the hardest path. Is being able to control these things. It's because it's a balancing act. It's not going to one extreme or going to the other. It's easy to live in extremes, but it's hard to just take what you need from the forest and nothing else.
That's a beautiful way of thinking. I want to rewind a little bit. Speaking of thinking about Bruce Lee, we understand when did you decide to go ahead and adopt that moniker?
Oh, that was that was my managers when I met him. I
Yeah.
met him in a jiu-jitsu gym. Then they were like big guys. I guess they were like dabbling in they're dabbling in martial arts here and now and again. But then I kept tapping them out, and I was very young. I was like 18 or something, and they're like, "Oh man, you're pretty good." And then he told me, "Hey man, you look like that guy from The Last Dragon." I'd never seen the movie at that point. And then they showed me told me to watch the movie. I watched the movie, and then later on down the line, they asked me if I wanted to fight. They would manage me, and we started going from there. And they got me my first fight at 18, and was it 18? Yeah, at 18. Just yeah, I just kept the name. They gave me the name, and I just kept it.
Hey, so were you ever a Bruce Lee fan though? You said you watched some Bruce Lee
But yeah,
movies
yeah, yeah.
before.
Um, could you let me pause for 1 second?
Yeah.
Give me a drink.
Yep.
All right, my bad.
No, you're good, man. You're good. So you are a Bruce Lee fan though. Is there something that you could tell the viewers? Like, was there certain things that he said in particular, or what messages that Bruce Lee gave that kind of resonated with you in particular?
Well, like more and more today, I would say it was like I've been thinking about it more recently. When he says there what movie was it? Enter the Dragon. I believe it was Enter the Dragon, and I believe when he's walking with that monk, and he asked him about the opponent, like what is the opponent, and he's like, there is no opponent. Damn, I forgot what he said.
Basically, you are the opponent.
Yeah, well, he says like the word "I" doesn't exist. I'm not doing anything. When it hits you, I'm not hitting you. It hits you all by itself. And I started to understand like the Taoist philosophy in the art of not doing, which is not necessarily not doing anything, but is not trying or not willing to do something.
I see, kind
Right.
of natural
Yeah.
reaction, kind
Like,
of. Okay.
yeah. Or not even reaction. I wouldn't say it's reaction. It's kind of adaptive.
Hmm.
Like a surfer, surfing a wave, right? He
You
doesn't
can't
try to
anticipate.
control. You can't control the wave either with your will. So you have to master the wave. You have to master the ability of adapting to the wave, and that's like where the difference between control and mastery differentiate itself for me. It's where you're trying to control something is where I'm trying to impose my will onto it. When I'm trying to master something, I'm just trying to kind of like flow around it, kind of like be able to handle it with such mastery that it doesn't affect me. Like a person that masters fire, like the fire blowers. Anybody else trying to do that would burn themselves. But he has mastered the fire. You can't control the fire, but you've mastered to play with it, like in that sense.
Yeah, I love it, man. I'm a huge Bruce Lee fan myself. Just the respect that he had for the craft, how serious he took it, how serious he took his body, how he felt it was important what you consume. Just exercising his philosophy, his wisdom, and respect for the sport. He was just an all-around role model for me when I was younger as well, watching the movies, and I love him. So that's something that I felt drew me and my son and I to you to make it so that we didn't miss any of your matches when you used to fight in the UFC, man. Hey, I want to tell you, so you was out there just having fun. Let me ask you, Was there any crazy stories? Was there any time that you probably had a fight and you were sick or something like that? Because I know you fighters, man, you go in
Uh,
there, you're not a hundred
plenty.
percent.
There's been plenty of times like that though. Like, I mean, I mean, first of all, cutting weight like ridiculously, you're not fighting at 100%. That's one thing. But yeah, there was like a couple times where I fought where like I know I had like a stomach bug one time, and like I just like I had like diarrhea, and like I made weight, but I fought at the same weight. Like I didn't put on any weight.
Did you win
And
that
then
fight?
no, I got
Ah,
I was doing really good in the first and beginning of the second, but then like the guy choked me out. I just completely gassed out. I had nothing in my arms and my legs, and I couldn't defend shit. I'm like, bro, it just hit me like a wall. But I was fevering the whole fucking time, and that was yeah, so I remember that one. That sucked. Uh, there was a couple fights where I had like popped ribs, you know. But those fights, I never noticed the rib. Like I won those fights and never noticed the rib. So, but it was popping in and out of practice, and it's like, oh my god. But had a couple fights where, like in the first round, I broke my hand.
is that right? A couple of them?
Yeah, I had the first one was in Texas, the Stephen Peterson, I believe. I broke my hand in the first round, and then I was able to win that fight like unanimous decision. And then the second one, I broke my this part of my arm in the first
Oh,
round, and I was able to lose that fight by a split decision.
I think that's your ulna, right? Or is that your
Yeah,
radius?
the
Yeah,
owner, the
that.
owner.
Yeah, I fractured my humerus when I was younger. So you ended up having to stay out for how long after you had found out that you had that broken ulna?
I would say about a year. I would say a give or take. I want to say it might have been a little bit less, but I'm not sure. It might have been like 8 months to a year.
So how was the trajectory? Where'd you start off at before you made it to the UFC? How'd that go, man? Like, were you excited when you got the call? How'd that work?
Well, really, I started doing the fights because they said I can make money because before that I was doing like those backyard fights
Oh
and
shit!
and then
You got any footage? Man, I gotta pull some of that footage up and put it on here
yeah.
if you want me to.
Yeah,
You
you
got
can.
some?
Well,
Okay.
they're on YouTube.
Yeah, but go ahead. You said so that you was doing the backyard stuff first. There. I'm
Yeah.
gonna pull some up and put it on. But you were on the backyard fights. That's how it started. They started
And then I
noticing
started
you.
doing local fights. I don't know. I forgot how many I did. I think I like 7 local fights. And then my brother who says like they're having. I didn't know. My brother said they were having like tryouts for the Ultimate Fighter up in North Carolina. And my dad, he was staying up there at the time, so I said, "We'll just make it a road trip and let's just go drive up to North Carolina and try out for the Ultimate Fighter." So me and my brother tried out, and then I made it, and they called me like a few weeks later and flew me out to Vegas, and that's how I got into the UFC.
That's a crazy story. Cause so kind of two birds with one stone. You said, man, Pops is over here in North Carolina. Let's drive over there and see if we can make it shake, right?
Well, yeah, I didn't like, and then honestly, like, yeah, I didn't even know what the I was like. I wasn't into sports ever, growing up. So like I just never got into it. So I never knew teams. I never knew like sports and stuff. So I didn't even know that the UFC was happening like that, honestly. I was just
So
training and fighting because I just like doing it. And I was thinking like, in my mind, I'm thinking like old martial arts movies, like I'm gonna be doing this like in underground places like the Kumite and type of shit,
Bloodsport, yeah. That was it right there. Old
But then I'm
school
like, oh wait,
Kumite.
there's a plate, and like especially when I started getting into professional leagues, like oh they actually, I'm like oh they this is pretty cool. Like this is actually happening like this. So that's I started gravitating more towards that.
Damn, that's crazy. You got to watch my intro, man. I got it on YouTube. My son made it for me because my generation, and he put. You got to check it out. This Bloodsport is on there. A little scene from there where he says, "Say it." Remember, he told him to say "mate."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Hey, so it sucked cutting weight. You were tired of that, and you spoke about that in that speech on your last performance with that win, man. You want to elaborate on that?
Well, the way I look at it is it's ritual. It's more ritualistic than anything because it only works if you're the only one doing it.
Hmm.
It's kind of like speed is only an advantage if you're the only one that has it. But if everybody else has the fast car, then you're all racing towards the same destination, just with more anxiety.
I see.
So if everybody's cutting weight, stop cutting weight, we'd be fighting the same people at a different weight class.
So what do you think
So
about the cutting weight ultimately? Like, you got
it's
any
it's
outlook?
it's I don't know how to look at it because to me it's pointless. It's pointless. And if people collectively, especially experts, in the fight game and everything like that, can't collectively say, "Hey, this is kind of pointless. Let's just change the weight bracket and have people fight at their natural weights anyway," because they'll be fighting the same people anyway. Then I feel like it's just kind of like a ritualistic, type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think that the outcomes would be different as far as like whoever's on top right now? It wouldn't be the same because cutting weight does have a little difference for certain fighters. Some of it benefits them, some of it doesn't as much, right?
I wouldn't know, honestly.
Hmm.
I would say that
Yeah.
everybody would benefit from not cutting weight. You don't cut weight when you're training. You're not cutting weight when you're probably, and I guarantee you, every fighter can tell you that their best performances are training. When they feel the best, like no pressure, nothing on you, you're great to go. You know, even if you're not cutting weight in a fight, you're still gonna have pressure. The crowd can make you cave. All the pressure of the anxiety of everybody watching you can still make you cave and stuff like that. Still heightens your breath, but you won't be dehydrated. There is no risk of you fucking your body up long term. Just so that you can make a few people um, scream and shout. Like it's because they're gonna scream and
Speak.
shout anyway.
Yeah, and we spoke about that before when we were talking one time. Remember, we were talking about the casuals and how they like to boo, and you had a very interesting outlook on that. I told you, I said, hey, it's unfortunate because it's a lonely sport and all the sacrifice and different things that these fighters make and what they go through outside of the octagon or ring. And to hear fans boo because they have like great defense or they know how to control somebody on the ground. How do you feel about that? Tell the viewers your mind on that.
Well, like I said, this is more than just for just the casuals or the fans that boo. It's just for life in general. We need
Okay.
those kind of people. We need those kind of people because without them, we wouldn't be able. Other type of people wouldn't be able to arise mutually. So you wouldn't be able to have a contrast of like who's a good person or who's a respectable person if you didn't have bad, disrespectful people, right? The
Right.
minute that somebody noticed beauty in the world, ugliness was born as well. These things
Mm.
rise mutually. You can't have one without the other. And if you stop trying to make all the downs up, then you do away with a lot of anxiety. And then you understand that these downs define the ups. They make it more accentuated, they make it more meaningful because there are downs, the ups are that much more valuable. So the
So
fact that
to
there are shitty people, you value good people more.
wow, that difference is so distant. It helps you appreciate it.
Yeah, if there wasn't darkness, you wouldn't be able to see the stars. Nothing arrives without a background. Like you don't exist without that background behind you. I couldn't describe you without a background. So it's not just two systems. It's not the background and you. It's one system. It's you background.
Where you get all this? Did you continue with your school, or do you read books or something?
No, I got kicked out of school in high school. But yeah, I do read books. I try to study. I guess I study like Zen Taoism more so. I've studied yoga and a lot of different things. Just I don't really try to limit myself in that sense. And another point that I want to make, like when you look at martial arts, right?
Yeah.
Look how it evolved. Back in the day, everybody was always competing against, oh, Taekwondo is better than this, and this is better than that. And then one clever guy says, well, I'm just going to mix them all together. And it helps.
Yeah.
It structures you better. But that's what it is. Same thing with religions or spiritualities. These things are scaffoldings to buildings. While you're building the building, you put up scaffolding, but you don't keep the scaffolding on as a sense of pride. Well, like, look, this is a Christian built house. Like, it doesn't matter. You take it down because it's a spiritually inclined house now, and that's all that matters. So rather than trying to just take one spiritual quest or spirituality or religion to make you a better person, why not mix a little bit of everything here that fits you? Like the way we mix martial arts, the way we mix different skills in order to be better at cooking or music playing and stuff like that, different genres, because that's what it really is. It's clothing that you can wear to make different styles. But if you choose to only wear one style of clothing, it's going to get quite boring.
Wow, that's a very interesting point right there. That makes sense. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, because it's if we're all agreeing that okay, there's a kind and just like major spirit out there, the whole thing is a loving thing, right? Then why does it care that you follow some weird rules that some man made because he said he had some vision from the one thing? No, I'm sorry. You're not gonna belittle everybody else and deify yourself or deify one thing and belittle everybody else. It's kind of a put down to man, saying that we can't be all good because we're just intrinsically evil. That's bullshit.
I agree with you.
As in we're born sinners, and I don't think we are. We develop in that way. There's never once where like you see babies being born and you're like, all right, let me just start killing shit.
So, what is very important in your opinion, which swayed you to leave and live in the positive life that you do? What made you become so positive the way you are and have this beautiful mind?
Well, that's and another point that I want to bring across too is like I don't think I did anything to do about it. It's just the way that I am. I don't try to control myself. It's just what I do. It's how I feel about things and how what it's the persona or the character that I guess the the spirit in me chose to play as this body here, and it's what I'm doing. I don't have a choice in the matter. I don't have a choice in the matter that when I see something that I feel like is wrong, that okay, I think that's wrong. I don't agree with that sort of thing. Some people see it the other way. What might be evil for you might be good for another person, right?
Yeah.
So
So, do
I
you
feel it's like
believe
roles,
that
bro.
what is it's like rules?
Roles, not rules,
Roles.
roles.
Okay. Roles. Yeah.
Like I'm inclined to be this way. And it's kind of like I noticed that like for instance, me and my brother, we grew up and we had similar experiences, but how we took the experiences were completely different. Like my brother would often take the experiences like this is what I should do, and sometimes if it was a bad experience for me, I'm like, oh, this is what I should never do, right?
Yeah.
So it's
So,
like some people learn not to put their hand in fire, and some people
mhm.
continually put their hand in fire. If you stick your hand in fire, you're gonna get burned. It's not an opinion. It's a state of affairs. That's what will happen if you put your hand in fire. But you can get burned if you want to. Some people don't feel alive unless they're sitting on a spike. So that's the kind of life they need to live.
That's interesting. We don't. Everybody lives a different walk of life, and we don't know what people are going through. That's why it's always good to be kind and open minded, and that's what helps us learn, right? Like you are able to absorb a lot of this positive knowledge that you have that you're sharing with the viewers from being open minded and understanding that we can learn from almost anything, right?
For sure.
What do you think?
Or it's no, what we definitely learn from everything. It's I guess what you choose to learn from it, you know. Or I wouldn't say choose. It's because like choosing it implies too much of an egotistical will to say like oh like I choose to learn from it. Some people just it absorbs differently. Like for instance let's take musicians for example. Like all the best musicians, some of the greatest minds of music, um, most of them never went to any type of prestigious school. They were just born that way. And you can never teach somebody to do that. So this is the same with anything in life. There is no way to self improve yourself. Does that make any sense?
Elaborate perhaps a bit on it, if you will, please.
So, how can you improve yourself if the one that needs to improve is the one that's doing the improving?
If I had to guess, it would just to be positive, continue moving forward.
There is no improving of yourself. You can't control that. You are who you are, and you choose to be you. or you choose to be this person that needs to be improved.
And I wanted to elaborate on that. I feel that I like to call it baggage. It's what somebody's been through that fuels them, whether it changes them negatively or positively. It's what they went through. It's either what they lacked and didn't have. Because, as like humans, we always want what we don't have, right?
But when
So
you
there's
but when you
certain.
see but when you see like that would be the case if it applied to everybody, right? So now you see a lot of poor people that if they lack what they don't have, they want more. But if you go to like third world countries or different places, especially when they're living off the land, people that lack what you don't have, they don't want anymore.
They're appreciative.
Okay, so the thing is, it's you can't say, well, it's how the situation, the environment that you're raised in. No, it's how you dealt with it. It's how you how would you say express yourself with it. You ever heard like people say that like when something happens to you, it didn't make you do something, it simply exposed what was inside of you already.
Wow. That's deep. Yeah, because the after effect of whatever you did, it was already in you, is what
Yeah,
they're
so the thing
saying.
is, yeah, so
It brought
like
it
for
out of
instance,
you.
like exactly. So like for instance, people like say like fighters are violent and this and that. Well, some fighters are violent, but then some people are violent. You know,
True.
so like people
True.
like for instance, if a fighter like hits his wife, they're like, oh, because he's a fighter, he hit his wife, and I'm like, well, there's more people that are not fighters that hit their wives, and it's because they're not fighters they hit their wives. It has nothing to do with what they do. It's who they are as a person, and in order for that person to get better, they have to realize who they are. You can't correct the situation if you think that you can improve it. You can only
Self.
recognize the situation, right? If
Okay.
anything, you can disapprove of it. You're like, oh wait, this is not right. Maybe I should
Yeah.
stop doing that. Like you said, it was baggage. So instead of carrying the baggage, start dropping it off. And then you start finding who you are. Because when a sculptor is looking for the masterpiece in a piece of clay, he doesn't add on stuff to it. He chisels away all the imperfections until the masterpiece is shown. So chisel away everything that you think you are until you are left.
Is that something you wrote down, or you're
No,
just
that's I think that was Bruce Lee.
that was good right there. I like the way you broke that down. To rewind a little bit, there's some love in the sport where it was fun. At some point, you have a brother, and he who's older.
My brother's older by 1 year.
Okay, so you guys were like always kind of tussling, playing around and stuff as you was younger.
Yeah.
Okay, so you always had somebody that you could did you feel that that gave you the advantage when you started rolling with other people that didn't have like a brother?
Well, for sure. I mean,
Of course.
I was always athletic because we were both into sports and athletic experiences. So that always kept me in shape, I guess, that we're always competing against each other.
Now, your father, he was behind you guys, pushing you to have fun or being all you could be, or let's just get out there, or he didn't have to tell you anything. You guys were like, man, we want to do this. How'd that work?
No, well, that was always my decision. I just wanted to do it. But like, no, he wasn't always in the picture. So he was incarcerated when we were young, and then he started living with us again when I was about like 12ish, I believe. But then it was like choppy, like in and out, just because of personal matters and
Yeah.
whatnot. And then but no, in fact, it was more the opposite. Is like he didn't uh wasn't really supportive of it, just because I guess it was more out of like fear of not making it or not being a smart choice. But
Okay.
so no,
Well,
it's
he
not
felt he
something
was
that
a little
anybody else
worried,
had to tell me. Huh?
but you said your dad might have been worried, kind of,
Yeah.
that it wasn't the right choice. Okay. Well, yeah, that's natural instinct from a father. Caring about his child, you can get hurt. You know what I mean? And that's probably a natural instinct, in my opinion. Yeah.
But who said like I didn't have the killer instinct? And I'm like, well, like you don't have to want to kill anybody to know how to fight. That's all.
That's what Dad thought, right? Was he an angry person?
No, no, not necessarily angry.
He
But
just was like, you got to have that killer instinct.
yeah, and I'm just like, no, like, you got to be okay with killing, but you don't have to want to kill. Like that's
I don't think Demetrius Johnson or GSP had killer instinct.
yeah. Well, I mean, they were okay with it though. if they had to happen, like they fight tooth
Yeah.
and nail. That's the thing. It's like
Yeah.
it's just, but because they have killer instinct, and it goes to the other extreme, is just to have a personal stake in it.
Yeah.
Is to say, oh, I don't want to do this. I'm not going to kill because I'm squeamish about killing, or I want to kill because it brings me joy. No, it's killing. If it happens, it happens. That's where it's at. Like I'm not going to feel one way or the other about it during the situation that it's.
And I hear you. Alex, I want to ask you, I want to rewind it a little bit. You said something about it's the choices that we make ultimately, no matter the circumstances, kind of, right? Do you feel what you were around helped sway the decisions that you made, like being with the brother and then getting a chance to tussle with him or whatever? It made you like better than the average kids around and the sports that you were interested in? Did that
Well,
help propel you just having a brother?
it's hard to say because it's like it's the way that I mean, because like me and my brother, like we had like it wasn't always a healthy competitive nature. I guess because we were so close in age,
Those are the best. Yeah.
So, but at the end of the day, it's like I think the same thing. Like my dad used to say, "Oh, if I wasn't like hard on you, you wouldn't have the drive to do it." I'm like, well, I was a like there was no drive. That's what I was always trying to explain. Like I would have done this anyway. The thing is, like I would have got good anyway. Like if I was motivated, I was motivated when I was 6 years old watching Bruce Lee fix. That's when I was already motivated. So there was no more motivation I needed to say this is what I want to do. And everybody was like, and it just
You
seemed
already
like I
wanted to
don't
do
know.
it.
Yeah. So it just like it's like we could have done this in a lot easier way. It's more supportive and still got it done. Perhaps better. Who knows? Because we didn't. It wouldn't have brought
Hold
so
on,
much
because I'm listening to
anxiety
you.
and like, yeah. What
Well,
happened?
I have to interrupt you because you made a good point. Alex, you said that if it would have been more supportive, was there at times that you felt you wasn't getting that support from your dad? Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah. From my father, from my brother, it was like it was a weird. It was kind of
Dynamic.
like it's okay to be helping you up, but not necessarily pushing you forward. If they were
Did you
helping
use
you up,
that
they're your
energy?
friend. No, not at all. Like that's the thing. That's the thing. Like that's the thing I was trying to tell him. Like I didn't use any of that energy to make it anywhere. I never fought angry. I never went out there and took out some shit that was on my chest. I just never carried it. Honestly, like if it was on me, I'm like, okay, man. If that's the way you feel, like I just understood I couldn't do nothing about it. So like that's where like I get exhausted and over explaining myself. It's like, no, we could have done this easier and done it a lot better, because if anything, that just makes it more stressful because you're trying to make it something that it's not. It's like, oh no, well, you need that motivation. Like maybe some people, but I just like doing it. It's the same way like playing music, man. Like, do you feel like these guys need a drive to play music when they enjoy playing music? Maybe some of them had to have a heartbreak to do it, but most of them don't. They just what they love doing.
So you love
When
doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
When you
love
listen to
doing it. So it
music, it's like
wasn't work. It was just having fun.
yeah. When you listen to a song, are you waiting for a certain point of the song or the end of the song so you be like, oh, bam, we made it? Or do you just enjoy the song till it ends? That's the way that it
Yeah,
was
I
with me.
enjoyed the whole song, and yeah,
So I
yeah,
don't wait for a
that's the way
certain,
that it
and when
works.
I'm dancing, I don't pick a certain point of the dance floor to end on when I'm dancing at the end of the song. Like, okay, at the end of the song, at the final note, I'm
Yeah,
going to end there. You don't do that. So it's not about the
you're making it all
destination.
serious. Yeah, you're having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But in general, it's
it's
not
not
about the
about the
destination.
destination.
It's not even about the journey. It's about playing. That's it. Just having a good time, and then when it's done, it's done.
Well,
That's what
I
life is. You're alive till you're not. There's no point in
and
surviving.
and you want to emphasize just live in the moment.
Yeah, what's the point of surviving?
Live in the moment. So how about for the young kids that are aspire to try to compete in MMA? Is there something that you personally wanted to tell them? Like, is there some type of advice that you want to give them that they could go ahead and could echo in eternity? They could remember this because it's authentic. You're a very authentic person, and this will be from you how you feel because nobody's been through what you've been through. Now, there's a lot of kids that are aspiring to compete in MMA, and sometimes they just need a certain message to fall on their ears that'll help them remind them that they need to push through, because I believe there were times where a lot of different MMA fighters felt like just giving it up early. Is there anything you want to tell these young viewers
Well,
that can
I
help
guess
them
the reason why I never gave it up, the reason why I just kept going through it, just because it's not about, like I said, it's not about getting anywhere with it. And first of all, it's not about even about competing. I compete because it's fun and it gets me paid. But if you like martial arts, then just do martial arts, and then everything else will kind of just fall into place. But there's one thing that somebody says: when the why becomes big enough, the how just falls into place. So you don't you just got to ask yourself, why do you want to do it? If you want to do it for just the money and the get to compete and be get up there in the ranks and stuff like that, you got to be honest with yourself, and then you got to formulate yourself in order to do it that way. But honestly, I would just tell you, just do it for the martial arts. That's what it is. That's honestly what it was supposed to be, at least.
respect for it? And with a lot of different things, you can help point out that if you practice martial arts, certain things, there's a lot of respect, discipline, and different things that come with it. It's not also just competing, right? So maybe you
Oh
could tell
yeah,
the
I mean,
kids, that can help them get off of the streets or
ultimately, I did martial arts because it's for self defense. That's what it is. Is that I do not want to
as
be.
well.
Yeah, I don't want to be bothered or molested in my state of travel through my life. Like I want to be able to walk my path undisturbed. And if somebody wants to disturb me, I want to be able to simplify that problem and put it to the side so I can continue on my path. That's what it is. It's not like I'm build this thing up so I can go look for trouble and look for money and look for this. No, I want to develop this so that I can walk my own way without trying to fuck anybody else up and just keep to myself. That's
That's what
core.
it's about, man.
That's what the reason is
Hey,
for.
and
I want to be able to
and
travel through
and
this world peacefully.
well, I hear a lot of coaches saying, "Hey, go in there, have fun," and they're like, they don't have to tell you that, right?
Oh yeah, it's a,
They don't have to tell you that. They don't have to tell you.
oh, it's always a good reminder though because it's easy to forget. It's easy to forget. It's easy to get
Yeah,
caught up in the game. They do a very good job at
yeah.
hyping the game up, so it's easy to get caught up in saying, "Oh, this is very, very, very important. If you don't make it, this is the end." That's that's the whole like
And
philosophy
another
how we have
thing is
life.
the whole philosophy in your opinion in life is was what you said. So you
No, the,
repeat
the,
that
the
so
whole
the viewers,
philosophy
because I
that we have on
interrupted you. I
life, and
apologize.
oh, sorry, the whole philosophy that we have on life in the society, it's bent on a mechanical system, as if everything must be done to survive, as if surviving and living were two separate things. You don't have to try
So a
and
lot of
survive. You
people are
can't
getting
try
stuck.
not to. Huh? Go ahead.
No, you were basically, I'm elaborating what you're saying. You're saying like if you get caught up in that matrix, before you know it, you're just surviving versus living in the moment. That brings us back to that. Is that kind of what you're saying?
In a sense, but the thing is, you can't separate survival from living. That's the whole idea. The thing is, if we start saying I gotta survive, you make two different yous. You make a person that needs to survive and the one that's already living, which is surviving. The minute you're born, you're already surviving. You can't
Wow,
you can't try not to survive. You're alive, and you survive until you don't. That's it.
that's true. Have
So
you?
why
Do
why
you
build
do
anxiety
any?
on
Do
something
you
that's
train
already
any
happened?
kid?
I'm sorry. Training
Do
the
you?
kids.
No, no, you're fine. Yeah. Do you have you been training any kids or anything like that? You strike me outside the box, and even talking to you personally, the few times I have, you're a very good man, right? And I see how you perhaps are patient and wouldn't get frustrated. I'm not sure how you will work with them, or if you ever been interested in doing that.
Yeah,
Have
I
you
work
already
with
been
kids a
doing
lot. I
that,
work with kids
or
a lot, but it's yeah, I'm very strict with them though. Like I I beat kids up. They can take it. You understand? They're young and
and
they're
why do
looking
you think it's
for,
important?
well, because it like no matter how you nerf up the cities and the world, socially, physically, or put the disguise that you're nerfing it up, it's never gonna be safe. It's never gonna be easy. So why raise easy, safe children? They need to be able to be versatile, not necessarily angry and just tough and just all the time. They just need to be able to be different kinds of strong, just being able to be adaptive to situations. That's what this world's about. It's about a free play of spirit and experience. So why build a body that can't experience all types of play? You know?
Right? And so how do you feel about the kids that don't get active enough? Like, are you against like kids that are just like on a video game all day and on a phone all day? Or how do you feel about that? Because there are some benefits to it, but ultimately you are saying that it's very important that a kid gets out there and experience life, right?
Yeah, and it's just, but it harkens back on, like, how are we raising the kids? What are we showing them? What's being excited to them? And it's not. I think we could blame the parents, but then the parents can chuck the buck. Oh well, I goes society built it this way, and my parents raised me, and then like it goes back and back and back. But ultimately, it's they want people to be this way. Not to be like a conspiracy theorist or anything, but it's just it's easier to control people that don't have versatile abilities of living. I mean, we've seen it in history, like for millennia, like China did it. That's why Kung Fu was outlawed for a whole bunch of times because they didn't want strong people fighting back against a totalitarian government. And we want to say we're in a democracy and a nation, but look at things that you can't criticize. That doesn't seem very democratic or republic to me. But that's just me talking. But other than that,
I
it's
love
the
it.
way that we want, or they made us want to raise children. Like we want to pamper them, we want to be soft with them. So now that everything that like makes them upset is a bad thing, and that's not necessarily true because you grew up in life and things that made you upset, you can say, "Oh man, I appreciate that," even though it made me upset at that time. That was something though that helped me out in my growth or in my progress of being a human being.
Yeah. These things that are hard on us usually help us grow. You would hope so, versus letting it tear us down, right?
Well, it goes either way, Like I said, there's room enough in this world for two different kinds of characters. So you need the other half to play those roles, and you need the other half to play the other roles. And you wouldn't have a functioning world if you didn't have it. It's kind of like inside your body. There's tons of bacteria and cells fighting each other all the time, but that's what makes you healthy. So imagine what disruption you would make if you went in there and took sides. Just fight or fight.
Everything works with the yin and yang.
Yeah.
Fight your fight.
And if
That's a
and
good
if
one.
you're
I like
and
that.
if it's
Fight your fight.
yeah. If it's your vocation to be a warrior and you got to fight against the evildoers, it's the evildoers' vocation to be an evildoer and fight against the warriors. And then that's what you're doing. But you're not going to try and convert the evildoers into warriors because then you have wolves in sheep's clothing. So that's what happens when you have an over passive and
Go.
over under aggressive, like, or not, I would say under aggressive, but under disciplined type of nation. You allow the lazy minded, the molesters, these guys, oh, they might be able to be reformed. And they don't, because that's their character. So you just have to put the characters in another spot or watch out for them. But you can't reform them because then you put bad characters in power. That's why we have bad characters in politics and bad characters in police uniforms, because we think that people can get better, but people don't get better. You are who you are, and you simply refine yourself. You accentuate yourself. You uncover the things that you thought you were. But if you are that at the core, it's hard. You just can't help that shit, bro. And if we look at it
Yeah,
scientifically, it's
you
a genetic fuck up sometimes. It's like they got a genetic marker off, and that's what makes them that way, like serial killers or shit like that. So
yeah.
it's something physical. It's something that you
Yeah.
cannot, you know, uh, change in that person because that's the character that they need to play to give the experience of that opposite role to the other person.
Yeah. It's like all everything works together.
Yeah. So rather than trying to make all his downs up, just say that's a down motherfucker. So just put him down.
So what helps you go on continuing being positive or whatever? What is like some good advice that you go by? Like what not to do cuz you were just kind of voicing that, you know?
Uh, well, like I said, that's the way that I just looked at it. So if I looked at something bad, like somebody doing something bad, I'm like, maybe I wouldn't do that because it brings consequences, and that just doesn't sit well with me, I guess. Like for instance, when I growing up, a lot of people would like jump people and stuff like that. Like it just never sat well with me. I would never do that. I would never fight somebody unfairly. I guess. I guess I watched too many like old school movies
Yeah.
and whatnot, so it just wouldn't. It doesn't work for me. But that's just in my nature. I didn't have to try to look at the world this way. I just looked at the world this way. Now, what I do is I do isolate myself more than other people, and I keep to myself more often because it helps me keep that idealism without having being corrupted by the outside world constantly bashing its waves against the hulls of my ship, right? Because no matter how stable your ship is, if you stay in turbulent waters too long, you're going to capsize. It's going to happen. So I do that. I stay gardening a lot. I keep to myself trainings just because it does get to you. So that's one way of staying positive, you know.
And the
Move
gardening, but the
gardening.
gardening that helps you. Is it like fishing for you, or like it takes yeah, it takes you away, kind of like your mind off of things?
There's so many purposes to it. I just and I like watching things grow. I like being able to eat the things that I grow. I don't know. It's fun. Like I really don't have too much of a reason. You know, there's and the things that I do, I don't
Well,
really
there's a
have
bunch
a
of
reason.
yeah.
I don't have reasons for things that I do. I
Yeah, I
like
see.
it really gets that simple to where I just like doing it because it's a fun thing to do. Anybody would like doing it. I mean, once you get the hang of it and you start doing it, you find
That's what's up.
the enjoyment in it.
That's
It's
what's
like
up.
I don't know, like riding a bike. Is there a purpose why you ride a bike when you were a kid? Oh, it's just fun.
No,
You
you
just
just
rode
having fun.
bikes. Exactly. Like
Just having
you didn't
fun.
say I'm gonna ride my
Just
bike
having
because
fun.
one day
What
I'm gonna
books are
have
you reading?
strong legs.
What
Or
books are you reading right now, man? Because you were telling me you're into.
oh, I'm not reading any books right now.
Well, nah, yeah, but I probably think maybe when you're older, or something like that. Yeah.
Um,
No.
I have been listening to some recordings of Alan Watts. He's a philosopher. He was talking about like Taoism and Zen Buddhism and stuff like that. And he dabbles into a lot of different things too, but he has a very good perspective on looking at things. I think it's a very interesting outlook on life in general, kind of introducing Eastern philosophy in a way that the Western world can
Yeah.
understand.
Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, so folks, there goes Alex right there, man. He's such a good guy, man. I told you guys I had something special lined up for you. I want you guys to go ahead and like and share, hit the comment and subscribe button, and ask some questions. And if I could go ahead and message him and ask him, to answer him when he gets time, he might be able to engage with you guys if you're interested in doing so. Alex, I want you guys to, would love if you could leave the viewers with something that you want to leave them with.
Oh, honestly, I feel like we kind of covered it. You know, if
Covered it
anything,
all.
just
Yeah, yeah.
if
Just to have
anything,
a great day. Be positive.
well, I guess one thing too, if this alleviates people with anxieties of life and death, everybody that is born is destined to eventually die. And so for everybody that dies, ultimately has to be born again. It's just a big wave. That's all.
Just the big waves. Just live in the moment and let things flow. Hey, thank you very much, Alex. I really appreciate you taking out your time, being such a genuine person, giving me this opportunity. And hopefully we could get you back on here again soon. And we could maybe get you continuously on whenever you have time. We really appreciate you. And thank you very much.